Mr. Kurturbis is here this evening. I have presented on April 10th, I presented to the council a petition to buy city-owned property. I had gotten essentially a template from the clerk's office as to how we go through this process these days. My client and his family members have owned real estate at 265 Lowell Street since 1956, and in 1990 they created a lot which became 2 Gilmore Terrace, and they currently reside in that particular house. They had retained the services of Eastern Land Survey Associates. They created a plan which would carve out 4,075 square feet of city-owned land from a much larger parcel acquired from the North Shore Mall Limited Partnership. It was acquired by the city in 1999. The parcel that we are interested in is shown on the plan that I had given with this application as Lot A, and it was, I gave you, there are no utilities installed or roadway in front of this parcel. The square footage that we've determined to acquire is 4,075 square feet, so it is not a buildable lot. This is an R2 zoning district. A single-family home can be built on 5,000 square feet, and a two-family can be built on 7,500 square feet. My client's interest is not to acquire a buildable lot, but instead acquire a smaller portion of land so that he could add a garage to his existing home. So we're happy to answer any questions as to what we felt as though the value, in as much as it's not a buildable lot, we thought that the value would be under the amount that would be required to go out to bid. And my client continues to have an interest in acquiring this piece of property.
Thank you, Attorney Kelty. In the package for the main meeting, item 8D refers to this matter. Can I have a motion to receive?
Move to receive under suspension of the rules.
Councilors, you heard the motion. All in favor? Any opposed? It's a vote. It's a recommendation from Community Development on this matter. Members of the committee. Councilor O'Neill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Through you, I'd just like to ask Attorney Kelty, what size garage are they planning to put, or on the parcel? Just curious. Thank you.
Copy of that recommendation? Yeah, thanks.
No further questions, thanks.
Thank you, Councilor O'Neill. Councilor Turco.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So there's a couple things here. One, in the this agenda packet for this meeting, you have a recommendation from our Conservation Commissioner, Lucia Del Negro, which actually recommends that we don't sell this land. And it reads, the wetlands shown on the attachment are much smaller than in real life. There is bordering vegetated wetlands that are not shown on the GIS plan attached. My recommendation would be that the city does not sell this property as it has habitat conservation and flood storage value. So that in and of itself speaks for on its own. And then you have item 8D, which I believe also recommends that we do not sell this land via community development, if I read that properly. With that, I had a couple of issues above and beyond those. Attorney Kelty, you said that the single-family size in the R2 was 5,000 square feet, agreeable. This already went before the ZBA in 1990, and they made several allowances for for variance, some major ones that I don't think would have actually passed today. Along with that, now you're asking that they purchase another almost 5,000 square feet of land, which would, if you combine those two lots, you'd be in the vicinity of 10,000, which then puts you with the ability to build a two-family home on a 7,500 square foot lot. And I know I'm thinking down the road, but that entirely is possible. We've seen people try to combine lots in the past, and honestly, I have question as to whether that's the intention here, is to eventually combine those lots. Regardless of that, of what the intention is, I'm going to go with the recommendation of our Conservation Commissioner and our Community Development Department to not sell this, not vote to sell this land for conservation reasons. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Turco. Councilor Gould.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I concur with Councilor Turco that if we have professionals working for us and making recommendations, we should follow their recommendations and not, they're the experts. Both conservation and planning, the community development, both recommend we don't sell it. So I'm not going to support it. Thank you.
Other councilors? What is the will of the committee? Oh, Councilor.
Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to speak, even though I'm not part of this committee. I am the ward councilor, and I had heard from several of the neighbors who are not in favor, especially with the two recommendations from our city departments of not selling the city-owned land. We do have the railroad and the potential bike path behind there being potentially used in the future. So just with that recommendation from the two departments here in the city, as the ward councilor and the neighbors speaking out, even though I do not vote on this committee, I would not be supporting of this. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Charis. Councilor O'Neill.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to deny the application for purchase of city-owned land, map 73, lot 207 by Peter Katrubis at 2 Gilmore Terrace. So moved.
Councilors, you heard the motion. On the motion, roll call.
Councilors O'Neill,
Yes.
Gould,
Yes to deny, correct? Yes.
Rozignol,
Yes.
Turco,
Yes.
McGinn.
Yes.
Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you, councilors.
Take a motion to adjourn. We are adjourned.